In this video, you will learn how to use markers to create different effects in your artwork. Our first technique that we're going to learn is how to fill a space with markers. For a smaller space, I usually outline the area. I'm not scribbling to fill in the space. I'm using a ladder technique where I'm working from one side of the shape to the other, slowly filling it in, making sure no white spaces are showing. Our second technique is to outline with marker and fill in with colored pencil or crayon. So first I'm taking the markers and outlining the shapes of the clouds that are provided. You could do this with any smaller details in your artwork. Then fill that space with colored pencil or crayon. This gives a really nice, neat craftsmanship to your project and creates different textures in your drawing. Our third technique is using marker and water. You do not have to create the same drawing that I'm doing. I'm creating a cherry, but you can choose to draw whatever you would like. First, you're going to outline the shape of whatever you would like to draw, leaving a little bit of white space in the middle. I'm adding a pattern of X's that I will also paint with the water. Notice how the water makes the marker bleed into the areas, like the inside of the cherry, the inside of the leaf, and around the little X's, almost as if it creates little stars. The next technique is stippling. Stippling is a technique that uses small dots of different colors to create or fill in a space. So here I'm drawing a flower, and I first outline the flower using small dots rather than a solid line. Then I fill in the petals with Then I begin to layer small dots of different colors on top of each other. Like in the petals, I'm using a dark pink, a light pink, and a red layered on top of each other. Again, I outline the shape of the leaf using dots rather than a solid line. And I fill it in using both dark green and light green layered on top of each other. The fifth technique is to create a grass-like texture. So I'm going to use these three colors, dark green, light green, and yellow, and I'm going to make small hatching marks as if they're small blades of grass layered on top of each other. So I'm using all three colors, layering these hatch marks on top of each other to create a grass-like texture, that feeling of each blade of grass being present. Our last technique is Sharpie Designs. You are going to draw a range of shapes, lines, and designs with a Sharpie. There is no rhyme or reason to your lines and designs. Patterns and repetition are good. So I'm creating like a flower shape, but you could start with any kind of lines or shapes and repeat them to create patterns. This is called a Zentangle. Once you've done the work with your Sharpie, you could add color to it if you would like, or think about coloring in some areas just with your Sharpie. Here I'm adding a little bit of teal to some of the areas, and we could go back and add water to those specific areas just like we did in the technique above this. All right, now we have tried 6 new techniques with markers. Don't forget to put your name and your class on your project. Then take a picture on Seesaw.